Hello, it's Paulus, the Cabaret Geek here, and today I'm talking about point of view in relation to cabaret. And point of view is one of my 4 pillars of cabaret. If you look back to the very beginning of cabaret history in the 1880s, and definitely the cabarets happening between the wars during the rise of Hitler, the idea of dissent from the ruling classes is one that is key to cabaret's inception and history, and I think to be wholly true to your cabaret origins, there needs to be some point of view that a performer brings on stage with them and is brave enough to share. Remember that you haven't got a script a lot of the time. There isn't a director a lot of the time, and there isn't a character for you to, hide behind. So what do you have? Well, you have your opinions. You have your own unique world view, and we speak often about the here and now in cabaret. So to be ignoring what's going on in the world around you, what's happened in the newspapers or on Twitter that day, that week, or in the gossip rags. If you don't want to get too political, you can get socio-political. You can talk about the cost of marigold gloves. You can talk about the quality of the wine that's being served at the bar right there, or the quality of the blouse of the woman in front of you. You haven't got to be political with a capital P for point of view, a strong, unique point of view to be used. But if you do go back as far as like the 1920s, between the wars, when Hitler was on the rise, the cabaret performers risked their lives, and in some cases did die, certainly were hurt, certainly were disappeared, were run out of town because they stood up on a platform and said, I do not agree with this, this is wrong. I say to my students these days, but I'm speaking, by the way, in November 2020, very early November, and I say to my students, can you imagine a situation where you wake up tomorrow and you find out that your favourite stand-up comic has just been put in jail or banned from TV or all of the internet because they told a joke which was defamatory to Donald Trump? And they all go, oh yeah, I can imagine that happening. Absolutely, it happened. In fact, I asked some students that once, and a student from, I think they were from Argentina, they said, well, that's exactly what happened to my uncle, who was a comedian in the 90s in Argentina. And there you go. It's exactly what was happening back in the 1920s and the 1930s. It's one of the reasons why cabaret is as nomadic as it is. Venues didn't last. They popped up. Even the most iconic of cabaret venues, Le Chat Noir, the very first one, run by Rudolph Salis, it only existed for 7 years in its entirety, and that was over 2 different venues. And part of the reason for this sort of nomadic pop-up culture of cabaret is that one reason is because it goes to ground, because it's forced underground, because it's becoming too contentious for the ruling classes. And the other is because it appears when it is needed. It's very much like Mary Poppins from that point of view. It pops up when dissent is the most prevalent in our needs. And I'm very excited by that. I'm excited by the future of live entertainment and of cabaret in particular, especially as we, enter 2021, given all the strange, wonderful, scary as hell things that are happening in the world right now. There's a platform that's been around a lot longer than Twitter that you can get up on and say, through art, through your craft, no, that's not right. I don't believe that. I believe this. And that's all I really mean by make sure you inject a little bit of a point of view into your cabaret work. And working with students in the last 20 years between the ages of 18 to 95, often what I meet is people who don't believe that they have the right to speak or have anything interesting to say or relevant to say, but as a human being of this world and as a citizen of whatever country you're in, it is your right, if not your duty, to speak up. So speak up. Anyway, you can subscribe for more like this. I hope you will, and I hope you'll let me know what you think of this video and my others, and I will see you next time if we're safe.